Prominent Nigerian lawyer drops bombshell, says every Nigerian should be treated like Evans. A Nigerian human rights lawyer, Ozekhome, has declared that all Nigerians are all kidnappers. He said that all Nigerians should be treated like notorious kidnapper Evans. Evans was recently arrested in his Magodo house, Lagos by the police. Human rights lawyer, Ozekhome has explained why every Nigerian could be placed in the category as suspected kidnapper. Evans was arrested in his home in Lagos over 2 weeks ago and has allegedly made several confessions to the Nigerian media. Nigerian gathered that Ozekhome said Nigerians know who these kidnappers are and where they keep their victims, but would not speak for one reason or the other. Ozekhome's statement read in part, "We are all Evans, one way or another." Simply summarized, Evans had viciously kidnapped, targeted and profiled wealthy members of the society, especially on the Facebook axis. He would manacle and shackle them, hands and feet, in his inhuman detention dungeons spread across Lagos and some other states of the Federation. He would then dictate to the trembling victims how much money they must pay in pounds, euros and dollars, to secure their precious lives. He was in total control. Though barely literate, having dropped out in Form 3 in secondary school, his educational inadequacy is hugely compensated for in his elephant in native intelligence. He would never negotiate with his captives' relations and friends. That was too risky. He rather dictated, not negotiated, directly, with his squirmy victims under threats of death. To aid his horrendously lucrative blood business, he had about 170 telephone lines. 2 of his handsets were Thuriya and Virtu, costing N2.4 million and N2.6 million, respectively. This princely sum of N5 million for only 2 telephone handsets is enough to set up a thriving business for a Nigerian, or build a 4-bedroom bungalow, or buy 35 commercial motorcycles to empower struggling unemployed graduates, whose only crime is that they went through pains and pangs to study in the university, while Evans was busy acquiring the latest global kidnap tactics and strategies. The good news is that the long arm of the law, though slow, has finally caught up with Evans. But, the bad news is that we are all certified kidnappers in the mold of Evans. I will tell you why. Evans never kept his victims in lonely, desolate, eerie jungles where owls hoot ominously and monkeys do tricky janglover jumps on tree branches. When I was kidnapped for 3 weeks, I was kept in the jungles. But, I could hear church music, native drumming and singing, not far away. I could decipher the local language from the lyrics. Our kidnappers used cars and motorcycles to purchase foodstuff and fuel. I was convinced that the locals very well knew what profession my kidnappers were into. They obviously condoned it or, perhaps, enjoyed the resultant blood money. God, I thank you eternally for saving my life. It was most horrific an experience. Death by installments. Fear of death, fear of fear. But, Evans unusually kept his captives inside busy neighborhoods and estates. From the pictures and videos shown of his detention cells in New Indo Town and Jakande State, Isolo, Lagos, Evans daringly operated right inside busy communities. Did neighbors not see suspicious movements over the years? Did they not do simple inquiry and due diligence, as to who their next-door neighbors were, and what they did for a living? Did neighbors not observe unusual vehicular traffic, taking in indigestion of passengers, some skirmishes and then sudden dead silence? Were they not worried that their immediate neighbors did not come out openly in the daytime to associate and interact with others? If they did, could they not simply interview such neighbors in a friendly manner, as to their names, what they did for a living, where they worked, their state of origin, profession, etc.? We become automatic complicit kidnappers when, out of negligence, indifference and sheer idiocy, we allow vicious, murderous kidnappers to live in our midst, and keep our brothers and sisters in dungeons next doors.